Hey YouTube, what you know good? He is the Reverend, and we're back with some more of that fresh art goodness. So, what are we doing today? Well, today is day 17 of OC-tober 2020, where I did OCs of my own, OCs of friends, comrades, fellow artists, etc. And this one is an illustration of an OC by one of my friends. Who's also somewhat of a business partner, if you will. My boy J.H. Sarin, who's occasionally streams on YouTube, and I think maybe Twitch. I'm not entirely sure. I can't remember. I know he definitely streams here on YouTube. He and I have been, coming up with ideas and working with each other for quite some time, ever since high school. And he had this idea based on some characters he made on a Facebook game. In fact, he and I swear, he and I sometimes same wavelength. He and I, we like video games. We like creating characters in video games. And sometimes the characters we come up with start to expand beyond the games. We start making actual backstories and character designs out of them and all that. And this is an example of just that. Well, a combination of two. This is a character named Raiken, and if anyone knows Jay from his Facebook escapades on the game Ninja Saga, you'll know exactly about this character. It's one of his several characters, and if I recall correctly, he had a decent amount of fan art from other people, like all of his followers on Facebook, regarding his characters, including Ninjaken and Sample and Yudian and his original character Jay, etc., etc. And there's also here, and what I did here was I did a redesign for Raiken based on an idea that he and I were actually working on that moves beyond what he was doing in Ninja Saga. Imagine a bunch of characters that he could design in a place like that, and we were basically going to place all these characters in a different alternate universe altogether. Something honestly, now that I think about it, it kind of reminded me of the Soul Calibur universe. We had a mysterious war going on, and all these characters that were originally teammates in the Ninja Saga thing would be complete strangers, different placed in different locations, almost like a reincarnation kind of situation, or just like a past life kind of situation, and they would eventually meet up and either become allies or enemies, and they'd have their different inspirations and fighting styles, etc. And the idea I got to have a little bit of put my own creative touch on it. He had some of his ideas, and I gave him some ideas. We pitched some ideas out there, and he sometimes, and since I did a lot of character design for him, did some fan art, and somewhat official artwork for him and his character Jay. He trusted me to come up with some ideas of what we could do for some of his other characters. I've done this way back when, before I did digital art. I had a redesign of a few of his characters, what they could do here and there. But then that was back when I didn't do digital art. I just had it pencil and paper, and I couldn't quickly whip up any designs like I can now without having to get some more paper and whatnot. Thanks to the power of digital art, I could whip out some quick designs this looks like it'll work. I can totally make this happen. And this is the idea I had for Raiken. He and I both agreed we were going to have him basically in a world very similar, his country of origin would be very similar to old Rome during the time of the gladiators, etc. And Raiken would be of for example, I think we agreed he was going to be royal family, and a very, very popular gladiator, just very, very vicious, very very, I don't want to say uncivilized, but very, not the word's not, I'm not looking for is not looking for hard-headed, but blunt. I think that's the word I'm looking for. Very blunt and brash, brutally honest, and maybe not as dignified as other locations, despite him being of like a royal lineage. His style of fighting would, of course, would be something like pancration, and he could use weapons, he preferred to use his bare hands, or his hands wrapped up in tape, have gloves on. As for the idea I had in my head, while actually conceptualizing the idea of this particular illustration, I'm not even kidding. I was actually inspired by the song Polemos from the reboot of Killer Instinct. That song there's something about that song, especially the chorus, where it just like you hear the chant, not the chanting, but the vocalization during the big flourish during like the midway part of it. If you ever check that song out, you'll probably figure out what I mean. If not, I might tell you I might drop like maybe a timestamp on what I'm talking about. But I just imagine him fighting, and then right during that big flourish and that spot where a chorus could play or something, I just imagine like gold coins showering him in slow motion while he's got the thumb up and like sideways, and whether or not he's going to kill his opponent or spare them, it would depend on how much gold the audience throws his way. Do they want him dead? Keep showering him gold, and something like that. And I just it was stuck in my head for a while when I was coming up with ideas of what I was going to draw for OC-tober, and I was like, that's good. I could do something with that. I could totally do something with that. Jay had no idea how I was going to do it, but that's one of the good things. That's one of the cool things about OC-tober. If someone knows you're going to draw one of their OCs, they may not know exactly what the hell is going to happen. They may not have a clue. It might be a pleasant surprise. Maybe it'll be annoying. Who knows? Maybe it'll inspire him if we ever do that actual story. The original idea for this story idea was to do an animation of it. He did not realize how long it takes to animate something, and this was before I really got used to using Clip Studio, so that wasn't going to happen anytime soon. For now, it might have to stick to being like a comic or a light novel like kind of thing with some illustrations here and there, but who knows? We'll see. We got a lot of ideas in our head right now. We're actually working on a comic idea right now that might take more of our time anyway. We're still finalizing character designs for that, and I'm working on a trailer for that as well. But I don't want to give you too much details on that, because it's not entirely guaranteed when we're gonna get that first chapter like posted publicly. But we'll cross that line. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But with that said, let's go ahead and wrap it up for today. If you like what I do, consider subscribing. And if you want to support this little project, remember I do commissions and have a Patreon. So till next time, take it easy, memento mori, and I will catch you all in the next one. Kill the feed.